What if everything you believed to be real, every choice, every path, every decision, wasn't truly yours to make? What if you were trapped in a game, where each move was controlled by an unseen hand, pulling your strings like a puppet? This isn't a story about fate or destiny. This is about control, and the terrifying realization that you might not be the one in charge. Imagine waking up one day, only to find that your every thought, your every action, is part of someone else's plan. Would you try to fight it? Or would you follow the invisible strings? In the next few minutes, you're going to experience a world where reality isn't what it seems. A world where a man is forced to play a deadly game of survival. But here's the question. Who's really playing? Him, or the one pulling the strings? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will make you question everything. What if you were never in control at all? And if you were, would you want to know the truth? Watch closely, because in this story, not everything is as it appears. Don't look away. You might miss something vital. In the heart of an old, crumbling estate, nestled among forgotten trinkets and dusty shelves, there was a mirror. It wasn't just any mirror. No, this one held secrets. Secrets that no one could ever quite fathom. One evening, a man named Thomas stumbled upon it, an antique mirror with an ornate frame. Its glass shimmered faintly, as if beckoning him closer. He had no idea that what he was about to uncover would unravel his very understanding of reality. What is this? As Thomas approached the mirror, he noticed something strange. The reflection staring back at him wasn't the life he knew. No, it was different. Slightly better, almost. This is me, but not me. A life where I never took the wrong turn. For the first time in years, Thomas saw himself in a new light. Successful, happy, with the life he always dreamt of. The mirror reflected choices he never made, roads he never walked. And yet, it felt so real. Days passed, and Thomas returned to the mirror again and again, unable to tear himself away. Each time he looked, he saw a different version of his life. Choices he never made, paths not taken. Who's that in the reflection? But soon the reflections began to shift. The people he saw weren't just versions of his life. They were strangers, faces that haunted him, eyes that stared through him, figures that didn't belong, whispering his name, following him. With every glance, the reflections grew more erratic. They twisted and contorted, showing a future full of chaos and violence. A life he was afraid to live, a world on the brink of disaster. The reflection wasn't just showing him what could have been, it was showing him what would come. No, I can't. I don't want to see this. As Thomas desperately tried to tear himself away from the glass, he realized something horrifying. The future it showed him was inescapable. The more he looked, the more his own choices seemed to push him toward that future. Violence, suffering, regret. Is this really what happens if I keep going? Or is it just a warning? He couldn't tell anymore. Was the mirror simply showing him a fate he could avoid? Or was it merely a reflection of the path he was already on? The lines between the reflection and his reality had begun to blur. Every night the images in the mirror grew more vivid, more menacing. And with each passing day, Thomas found himself slipping further into the madness. What once seemed like a harmless curiosity became an obsession. I can't stop looking. I need to know. What happens next? But the more he looked, the more the future seemed inevitable. It was as though the mirror had become a portal, a window into the future, a future that was now being manipulated by his every move, every decision. Then one night, the reflection shifted once more. This time it wasn't his life that stared back at him. It was a vision of destruction. his own face, twisted with madness, leading an army of shadows. The mirror was no longer showing him a future. It was showing him his own dark potential and how it could consume him. In that moment, Thomas had a choice: to step away from the mirror, to break free from the haunting visions, or to confront the darkness ahead. But with each passing hour, he found himself more and more drawn to the reflection that had once seemed so alluring, so perfect. Would he resist, or would he be consumed by the very future he'd tried to escape? The mirror's reflection never lies. It shows you the truth, or the lie you're most afraid to see. So tell me, what would you do if the future stared back at you from the glass? Would you fight it, or embrace it? Now that you've seen how easily reality can slip through your fingers, what would you do if you were in his shoes? Would you fight the unseen forces pulling you, or would you let them control your every move? I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is the line between free will and control thinner than we think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and share this video with those who might need to hear this. You never know who might be trapped in their own game. Don't let the strings pull you. Be the one to control your path. Subscribe, comment, and keep the conversation going.